Yeah, literally just today.
Let's have a look.
Got like a little, what's it called? Got one back and sides.
My guy, you have gone short. Keep it up. Let's have a proper look. Let's have a proper look. Take it off.
Take it off.
I don't want to say take it off in case anybody's like, what are you saying? Mind you, the hat has flattened it as well, though, since you started wearing the cap.
Yeah, it has. I've literally just put the cap on, to be fair, and
you look young.
You did a cracking job, to be fair.
Young and handsome.
£11, you can't go wrong, right? You can't go wrong with £11.
Wish it was on down here.
Innit?
Did you get the beard done there as well, or did you do the beard yourself?
Nah, come on, bro. The beard is all me, bro. Don't need nobody do my beard.
Did they let him touch the beard for £11?
No. Obviously, charge extra.
Do they charge extra?
He sort of like, he worked, he faded it up from here, he blended it up. Did the little flash bits, and then that's it. So it's quite. Did
you get to do the Bombay as well? Yeah.
No, because then that would have been into the category of
payment. Yeah, no.
See the way that my bank account works right now. I
think I touched it on a previous episode. I went up to this one guy near here where we live, and he was like, "Oh, okay." So haircut was, I think it was about £15 to £18. I think the haircut, and I was like, "Oh, it's not too bad. It's £11 up north. It's not too bad. Can't complain with that." And then he just went. So as he started the fade, I'm just going to show you this. He kind of, one was up here, like the top of the ear, and then the other one was kind of near the earlobe. And I was like, dude, can you blend that out? He's like, we charge extra for beards. I was like, what? Well, you can't let me walking out like this, can I? I said, I look like a flipping idiot. And walking out of your shop, people are like, what the hell's happened to him?
Like that, yeah, looking like
you can't do this to me and then say, I charge extra to fix it. I was like, this is your problem. If that's the problem, why aren't these two level? Why did you start one higher, one lower? And he was like, we'll do it this time. And I was like, don't worry, I won't be coming again. I said, if this is the way that you're being treated, when you make the problem, I'll pull you up on the problem. I won't be coming again, mate. I said, so if you don't mind, sort this out for me. Otherwise, I'm just not going to pay for this haircut. I'm walking out. And he's like, no, I'll sort it out. But normally we charge. You see, we charge for beards. I was like, no, I get the fact that you charge for beards, but don't let me walking out looking like a flipping knobhead.
That's literally his problem. He actually fucked you up. No, that's not acceptable. He
fucked me up. Literally fucked me up. And then he was like, no, we charge for beards. No, bro, I'm not asking you to trim it. I'm not asking for a shape up. I'm not asking for a fit.
Yeah. It's all right, by the way. Don't worry.
That's my daughter.
It's all right, man. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. She's all happy that he's doing a podcast. But yeah, hope she's well, by the way. Hope she's well.
Thank you, mate. She's telling me that she nearly did a handstand. So,
that's actually quite impressive because I've never been able to do that. So,
nearly 4 until come in screaming to the handstand. I need to put a sign on the door: podcast recording, or a sign up saying recording.
Yeah, you need the red light because no one will respect you writing recording. No one will respect that. They just think it's a piss take.
Straight in, Mickey.
But Rick, obviously, first of all, I just want to apologise that we never got a chance to do a podcast throughout the week. We had some Champions League and some Europa League, but unfortunately, life comes hard and fast, and sometimes you've got to make sacrifices. So I don't really want to discuss the Champions League too much, and I know we had some predictions, so we can always go over the predictions. But for me, all I care about is Arsenal won, and that's pretty much it. So but yeah, at the end we'll go over some of the predictions that we talked about and see how close or how far away we were. But the weekend that just passed, so we didn't get a chance to do any predictions for the weekend. But
like you said, life comes hard and fast. So yeah, it's one of those things.
We love doing these podcasts, and obviously, sometimes we just have to apologize just to make sure that people know that we care about them. We haven't forgotten about you. We do feel bad, by the way.
We do. It's such an awful feeling, but sometimes.
But yeah, look, like I said, we'll definitely go over some of the predictions that we did about the Champions League. But obviously, the weekend happened. There was a lot of football that went on standard in the Premier League. But where do you want to start, by the way, Rick? I will, because I delayed the last episode.
Just go in the order. So I think what we can do is just go from the Champions League. But I can't remember out of you or me who was the one who had the Champions League scores. I think you wrote them down because you put me down for a couple of scores down, didn't you? Because I thought it was going to be a 2-2 I do think you were going to draw at Seville. I do think that's bad grammar. I did think that I put me down for a 2-2 for you at Seville, and I think you went for a 3-0.
Okay. Let's go. Do you know what? Let's go straight
there. So yeah.
No, fair enough. Let's go.
Let's go straight to the Arsenal game. What did you think? Obviously,
Champions League predictions.
I was trying to do the noise, but I can't do it. I'm glad I didn't even attempt it.
You could have done anything there. It could have been any fanfare noise.
I didn't want the fanfare noise. I wanted to do the Champions League anthem.
Oh yeah, no, don't do that because they go too high. They go too high. I can't go that high.
I can't go that high neither.
Just my vocal cords work.
Well, I was going to go with something else, but yeah.
And that as well, yeah, they have dropped, so I can't be doing that shit.
My cojones have dropped. I'm not there anymore.
Right, okay, I'll tell you what. Well, because I've got them written down, then I'll go through.
Let's go through. Which one was the first one? I think we went Tuesday night, didn't we?
Yes, we had Man United, Copenhagen, and I had a 2-1. You had a 2-1 for United, obviously. And you know what? Let me just quickly get the...
I think it finished 2-1. No, I think it finished 2-1 because...
1-0. It was 1-0.
Oh, was it 1-0? Oh,
1-0,
well, I knew there was a 1-goal difference, sorry, because he saved the penalty last minute, didn't he?
Do we count goal differences as well? Because we definitely got this right then if we do.
No, we're not counting goal difference. What do you think this is? Knockout phase?
This is
amateur hour. What are you talking about? Does it look like this? We'll do that in February. And the knockout phase starts.
Yeah, we definitely will do that for sure.
Now, to be fair, I watched that game. I was disappointed. It was shit. Once again, Man United just shocking. And again, Ten Hag comes out and he says, we did really well. Onana saves the penalty last minute. Like, he didn't perform well. No. Personally, the guy who shot, it was a shit penalty, average height on the ball. Basically, it was a mid-height and he was it was a centre from the centre to the post, if that makes sense. So it was like, he was at that stage where it's easy save for the keeper. It doesn't have to move far. It's not in the corner. It's not high or low. It was just a shit penalty. I understand the occasion. Last minute. Oh, they treat him like a hero, yeah, because he saved, and that's their first 3 points in the Champions League, which I can understand that, but still, it's just. And they sit in third after 2 wells, and now they've got a W. When in reality, they should have had another draw. Or they should have had a draw, sorry, because it was shit. But we'll see. I can't see them winning in Copenhagen. Copenhagen played really well. Hit the post. They were creating chances. They were really, really good. And the return leg, I can see them losing, to be honest here.
Yeah, I think I'm just looking at their at the group table, Group A, and Bayern Munich. Obviously, they're 6 points ahead of Man United and sitting in third, and they're a point behind Galatasaray. So it's going to be difficult because again, one more time they're going to face Bayern, 1-0 to Bayern sort of thing. That's it. That's the end of Man United's run. It doesn't matter what happens with the rest.
That's
Even
it.
Copenhagen can take over. So it's not a good situation for Ten Hag. I mean, obviously we will mention them in the Premier League when we do the quick roundups, but yeah, it's just they don't perform well. That's it. Unfortunately, they do not perform well, and again, the weekend proved that as well.
Yeah, we'll touch. I've got some points on them that I want to discuss.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. And obviously, we had Seville, Arsenal. Sorry, my bad, by the way, because Seville, you can't say that. It's blasphemy. You can't call it Seville. Right? Yeah, so it's Sevilla. Whatever. I had 3-0. You had a 2-1 to Seville. I had 3-0.
For some reason, I thought you could. Yeah, obviously, I was going off that performance against Chelsea. I thought they will do something again. I've not watched any of the La Liga football, so. But again, I'm just going off maybe the team more the name than the actual team. I don't know how well they're doing. But I think what was it? Lucky not lucky, but somebody said they had a chance because Raya made a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, look,
was there a mistake? Could he have cost you the 3 points or not really?
There was a couple of wobbly bits. There was a couple of wobbly bits from Raya. I'll be honest with you. Where again, I even said to you last week, and I said I wouldn't mind seeing Ramsdale start in this game because
you mentioned that,
of the problems that I can see in Raya. And there's a couple of wobbly bits again, just sort of like not passing the ball out quickly enough, not seeing the defenders sort of not seeing the option fast enough. And these are issues that have obviously they've come to fruition really for the last couple of weeks. That's all we've seen from Raya, and that's all we're discussing on here as well. So a couple of moments. And look, 2-1. I think we should have scored more because we had a few more chances. We played a lot better. Jesus, just another absolute
quality, by the way. Yeah,
quality player, and he showed that again in the Champions League. And I think that's like 14 goals in 17 Champions League starts for Jesus. Obviously, Man City, by the way. That's just, I'm not getting too excited, okay, because they're not all for Arsenal. They are literally all for City. But the good thing is that he obviously he likes the competition. He likes to play.
Yeah, that's good.
Happy days. And
great for Arsenal, isn't it?
Both Gabi scored. Obviously, Jesus with an assist and a goal. Martinelli scored the first goal. And it was a good performance.
I saw the highlights. Jesus looked like he played really well.
He did.
Again, obviously, the highlights only show you the best bits. But those highlights were that highlight reel was really good. And then while we're talking about Jesus, our good old friend who decided to make that sick joke on the group chat, which was absolutely hilarious. But who you are. You absolutely.
Should we So Jesus obviously got hurt. Just for listeners, Jesus got hurt.
I'm glad you did it because I'm chuckling away over here because I absolutely loved it. I'm gonna put my mic on. I'm gonna put it. Go on, tell the joke. Tell it. I'm gonna put it on mute.
So Jesus, obviously, Gabriel Jesus got hurt in the match and a bit of a hamstring problem. And our mate who hadn't been following it, it was like, we were talking about his injury and Jesus. He goes, "Oh, what happened to Jesus?" But obviously, what happened to Jesus? But obviously, on text, it just reads like Jesus. So what happened to Jesus? How bad was the injury? So the other mate chimes in and he's like, "Oh, just a couple of holes in the hand." And
but I think he'll be okay.
So look, I just want to firstly.
I read that joke when I was driving, and obviously it was connected to the car like Apple CarPlay, and it went message from and then it read out the joke, and I was absolutely creased. My missus was like, "What are you laughing at?" But I explained to her the joke because we have some family friends who Arsenal fans referred to Jesus as Jesus. They were like, Jesus, Jesus is playing really well, or Jesus will score for us. I was like, why are you guys calling him Jesus? His name is Jesus, or Jesus, if anything.
Jesus, if you want to go that way,
And so obviously she got it right away because it made sense to her because obviously the link between. But no, it's hilarious. And what was even funny that as well, our other friend was like, "Oh, I thought somebody stamped on his hand."
So the other friend, obviously, who asked the question, who had been following the match, he was like, "Oh, I thought someone actually stood in his hand. So how bad is it?" Hence the prompt reply. So that was hilarious.
No,
By the way, I just want to say,
that made my day.
Definitely don't want to blaspheme or anything like that. That was just a funny joke. Okay, people, let's just move on from it. Okay, it was hilarious. Let's move on from it. But yeah, so. Good performance overall, and I don't think it's the injury. By the way, the hamstring injury. I don't think it was that. I don't think it's that bad. But it's always a problem with Jesus. To be honest with you,
Is he known for hamstring injuries?
Yeah, we always crucify him for it. So we try not to.
Well done, like we did there. Love that.
Yeah, we're always on him for the injuries, but. Look, it is what it is.
Does he need surgery or what does he need? Because what's the reason that he's got?
He already had his surgery on his knee, I think, wasn't it? Which obviously took him out
from he had the ACL from the World Cup.
World Cup, yeah. So I think maybe just not enough, sort of, I don't know, muscle in there yet, or I don't know how the fucking could be. Human legs work.
It's a knee injury, but you don't know whether it could be like obviously a little bit from. Could it be like the insertion of tendons? Is that where it is? Because they're near the knee. If there's the hamstring, is it ligament damage? What could it be?
They're saying hamstring, but again, I'm not too sure because...
Okay, so maybe just pulled his hammy then. That's all it is. Probably just running with it and just pulled his muscle and then struggled, or like a minor tears, which, like a pull, that's effectively what it is. But no. Well, all right, then we'll speed the recovery to the guy, but clearly he didn't need him at the weekend, but we'll touch on that.
Which is always good, by the way. At least you gave him a bit of a rest.
Sheffield, let's take it with a pinch of salt, you know what I mean?
That's why I don't want to get overexcited over that match. But I just like the fact that Odegaard didn't start, Jesus didn't start. I like that because you needed the rest. Yeah. So obviously, I wouldn't have minded if Saka didn't start, but it is what it is. But yeah, look, we're moving on. Next one, we had Newcastle Dortmund. That was Wednesday night, and unfortunately for Newcastle, they're 1-0.
No, they lost 1-0. Yeah, to be fair, it was a bit. I watched it. I watched parts of it, but I think I watched majority of it. To be fair, and it was a bit disappointing to see that. I was hoping Newcastle were going to win. They didn't come out with the same level of energy, the creativity, being poised in front of goal. Like it felt like as if they were just trying. Or do you know what it actually felt to me? It felt like we beat Paris. We can beat these guys. And they didn't have the same level of intensity. Underestimated, absolutely. And the media, like the next morning, they were like, "Oh, maybe this Eddie Howe's not cut out for it." Like, no, it's got nothing to do with one match. All it needs to do is get the players motivated to the point of like, lads, this is Champions League night. Like, let's not start taking the piss now because we beat Paris 4-0 or 3-0, whatever it was. We doesn't mean we're going to walk over everybody else who comes to St. James's. Dortmund defended well, then they were attacking with numbers. Basic football, the way that Dortmund have played. And, they got their goal and then they just defended and trying to hit them on the counter. Newcastle just didn't have the creativity, like I said earlier, to do anything with the ball. They got there close in the box, couple of touches in the box, didn't materialise to anything. Then all of a sudden...
Would you say the way that Newcastle approaches game then, would you say it's maybe just lack of experience from the players that they've never played in high stakes situations?
That's possibly, that's more for the experience of the players. Because I'm sure Eddie, well, yeah, but it just feels like they did it against, the thing is this experience is super, super important. But like they did it against PSG. Why are you not doing it against Dortmund? Do you know what I mean? Like you saw what it was. For me, sometimes is you don't need experience to be up for a match. Does that make sense? You kind of
that's true.
You just need to. That's your internal motivation. So, do you know what? I want to go out there and win every game. Just doesn't matter what you did last week. It's what you need to do this week. Exactly. Whether it be in Champions League, it's Dortmund. BVB, the famous signs of just literally BVB, the yellow wall. When they go there next week, because they're going to go there next week. But these games at home, Newcastle needed to win. Really, Newcastle needed 100% from the home record in the Champions League to have any chance of qualifying, because I can't see them winning in Paris. I can't see them winning in Dortmund. Maybe draws here and there, but obviously the AC Milan are going to come to town on the final game for Champions League group stage. So we'll see what they can do. But I'll be honest, I was disappointed.
Either,
No, who? AC? No, the AC, I've got a feeling they'll come. If Newcastle underestimate them, the AC will win again, just like Dortmund did. But they need to be tight.
But obviously, they got slapped by PSG. It was 3-0. So
they got slapped.
They're sat bottom 2 points away from second, so which is Dortmund at the same matches played. So again, one win against Newcastle, and Dortmund probably losing to PSG again. It's going to be a tough group, and that's why we say tough groups. We don't mean not necessarily all the teams are very tough. It's just in them 4 teams, it is going to be difficult, and it's proven. And obviously, Newcastle threw a spanner in the works when they beat PSG 4-0 a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was last month.
Yep.
So that made a sure thing for PSG look like, oh, wait a second, we still could get out of this competition if the other teams step up. So
they're on the same points, aren't they? Like you just said. So I think what they need to do is make sure they don't lose. They can't afford to lose any more matches, Newcastle. PSG will probably beat Dortmund AC again, home and away.
Yeah, I think
maybe. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But for now, Newcastle can't afford to lose any more matches, and they definitely need to win against the final game of the group stage against Milan in November, December, whenever it is effectively going to end up being a final for them, because I can't see them getting out of the group any other way.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point as well. And I feel bad for AC, I'll be honest with you, because I definitely want to see him through, but it's tough. It's going to be tough. So they need to really step up, and they need to start going after these, like a Newcastle and a Dortmund, because obviously PSG is just too strong for them. But all right, moving on. Last game of that. Of the UCL, Man City versus Young Boys.
I just need to apologise to the listeners. My daughter running around going, "Mommy, mommy."
It's all right, man. It's all right. She's proud that she's done a handstand. Like, that's what you need to be proud of as well.
But moving on.
Last game, Man City, Young Boys. I had 5-0 City. You had 4-1 City, and it was 3-1. So
when I did that, regret.
No, I'm just saying it wasn't going to be anything different.
It's not going to be anything different. To be fair with you, watching City now, especially against some of these teams, I don't bother because it's quite boring. It's all like possession football and then go score a goal. And listen, don't get me wrong, it was nice to watch at first and it's creative, but most teams are sitting back against City and not attacking. It just becomes boring and just watching City just pass the ball around.
Oh, I agree.
I'll touch on a few things of the week, and I don't know if you watched the Manchester derby, but
I did. I did. We'll definitely come to that. We'll just before we move on, then we'll touch on the UEL as well. We had Liverpool Toulouse 2-0 Liverpool. You had 3-0 Liverpool, and they won 5-1. So
and Toulouse actually did lose.
They did lose, to lose. They went there to lose.
They literally went there to lose.
Yeah, exactly. Brighton Ajax. I'm happy that Brighton won 2-0 against
Ajax. Me too, to be fair, but I didn't realise Ajax are bottom of their league.
I
did not realise they're at the bottom of their league.
Yeah, so they haven't been good at all. They're threatening relegation, to be fair. So I wouldn't be surprised if it actually happened. But and then obviously we had Villa. Is it Alkmaar for Conference League? Was it?
Yeah,
Villa won 4-1, so British teams kind of came out on top, and like to see it.
Yeah, of course, like to see it.
But
the competition is high in the Prem, isn't it? So we know
it is.
Unless they don't turn up like Newcastle did, they should. Newcastle should have won that game. Looking at their teams and stuff, but anyway,
that's it. Obviously, we'll start.
Celtic got their first point in the Champions League against Diego Simeone's flipping Atletico Madrid, and Simeone didn't really want to shake hands with Brendan Rodgers. He just kind of walked down the tunnel.
There's a new rivalry starting right there.
Yeah, he's a prick though, isn't he? Really, Simeone, he's a nice guy when they're winning, but he just win and lose, shake the other players' manager's hand. He is massively sore loser.
Sore loser, yeah. I
remember that time when Ronaldo was at Juventus, and I think Atletico were winning 2-0. At home, and it was the knockout phase, and Simeone started grabbing his crotch and doing this whole thrusting thing and so on and so forth. And even then, Atletico Madrid fans are going like, 2-0, 2-0, goodbye, Ronaldo, goodbye, go home, cry to mommy. When Ronaldo got a hat-trick in Turin, then all of a sudden, They were like, apologies for that.
That's
amateur hour, phone on loud.
One of
and
the
then Ronaldo
greatest.
started grabbing his and going like,
Yeah. One of the greatest to ever do it, to be fair. And this is why you should never taunt the greatest, because inevitably they're going to come back and it's going to slap you in the face. And that's
Ronaldo and Messi, you don't mess about with those two.
Slapped him in the face with a massive dick. That's what he did. That's what Ronaldo did right there to Simeone. But right, look, we'll start off real quick on Friday because there was a match going on. Believe it or not, there's some London teams playing. I don't know what's happening.
Some team, who's top of the league, by the way? Like
north or south, north or south, whatever it is. I don't know where they are. But Palace, Tottenham went to Selhurst Park, 1-2-1. Again, I watched parts of that match and nothing exciting. They got an own goal, which is, unfortunate for Crystal Palace, and then Son scored, but that was it.
Yeah, no, I get, yeah, but to me, it was I hear what you're saying, but it just felt like as if for them they just kept asking the questions, like what I said to you before, because Palace were going to defend, and they did defend.
They did, yeah.
But it was bound to be a goal, and I think James Maddison has been absolutely quality for Spurs.
He has,
and the fact that they've lost Kane, and they're like, oh no, what are we going to do? A lot of fans, and especially opposition fans, you, me, everyone else saying, they're doomed. They've lost their best player who's going to score all the goals. But good old Ange Postecoglou, whatever his surname is, Postecoglou has been doing incredible things, and I think he's come out in interviews as well. And he has, though, mate. I've never seen Spurs play this well. I've never seen Spurs winning games. I think they're unbeaten still, aren't they?
They've been more consistent, which is fair enough. I'll give you that. But
they haven't. Yeah, them in City.
They've been playing well, because they have not been playing well. They are not a good playing team.
No, I'm not saying they've been playing well in comparison to your Arsenal, City, and Liverpool. I'm saying they've been playing well in comparison to them last season when they did have the £100 million striker.
That's right.
They weren't there. But again, what Postecoglou's done is incredible work.
But he was
Mourinho couldn't do it. Excuse me, Conte couldn't do it. Maybe they went in there with big egos. This manager who was effectively nobody in the world stage of football, because he was at Celtic and so on, but then came over to Spurs. Everybody was like, who? Posta who? Anja who? And all of a sudden now, I know we're only 10 games in, but he's top of the league. 10 games in, he's ahead of the two greatest teams of last season. The two best teams of last year, where they were going toe to toe with each other. And not only are they ahead, they're ahead by 2 points.
They are and look, again, you can't deny that, to be fair. But my point being that I don't really see how sustainable this is going to be. It's a point that I make on every podcast, to be fair, because I see the way that Spurs play, and I don't know how long it's going to last. It gives me Unai Emery vibes when he had Arsenal. 22 games unbeaten. Right. Wow, oh my God, this guy. But again, every game he wasn't filling me with confidence. You know what I mean? That was the problem. And to be fair, Palace, they weren't that good. Jordan Ayew was a shambles until he scored the goal at the very end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was not good. Like none of them were good at all. Anderson played a good game, but the rest of Crystal Palace, like Edouard, they were just not making the runs down the centre. They could have had Spurs real quick. Vicario made a couple of good saves, which is like, all right, fair dues to the keeper. But yeah, I just don't know how well Spurs are playing. And maybe the fact that Harry Kane's left and it's opened up like this sort of void of other players to step in, which always a good thing, no egos. Harry Kane not being there, there's no egos. The managers like Mourinho's and Conte's not there anymore. They've got
that's what I think. I totally agree with you. I think these guys come in and just kept things simple. I think he's great when he gets interviewed as well. I think he takes the piss off of the commentators. Like Gary Neville said, they're doing what Pep does. And when he got interviewed, I know I touched on a previous episode, he goes, I just copy Pep, mate. And this whole kind of thing. It's the way he talks. He seems down to earth. He doesn't seem kind of like the Mourinho of like, I've won it 3 times, or Antonio Conte, I'm only going to play with 17 defenders and Harry Kane up top, and I don't understand, this team is shit. We need more signings. We need more defenders. You know what I mean? It's just, that's what it is. This guy's come around and said, scrap all that. We're going to do this. And you know what? It's working. To be honest with you, being a Spurs fan, I do have a couple of Spurs fans at work and they're buzzing. But obviously, I understand what you're saying, because you've experienced it with Unai Emery, where you do go 22 games unbeaten and it kind of doesn't realise to anything.
So
there you go. So Spurs fans don't get carried away. But I think if I was a Spurs fan now, I'll demand for Daniel Levy to kind of invest a little bit in the team in January. Because if you get an injury to Madison and Song, then you're fucked. You've got nothing else going forward. You're literally fucked.
Yeah.
Because, defense that Vander, whatever his surname is, the guy in the middle. Vander, I don't know, Vander something. Yeah, the new guy they brought in. He seems pretty decent. Romero, although he's a prick, he's done all right.
Yeah.
Who's the Italian boy on the left back? Udogi? Udogi. He seems pretty decent. So overall, they seem to be doing all right, but it's the creativity of Madison, finishing of Son, getting into the right spaces that seems to kind of like really help them out. And you know what? This is the time to go for it if I was Spurs. I'm not saying you're going to win the league, but at least give yourselves the best chance possible to win something with this squad while the team is in such a high morale, high spirit, and good vibes, I assume, all the way around that training ground.
It's a good jumping off point for them right now. And like you said, if he makes investments in January, then they could definitely do something. Maybe even just challenge till the very end. But
now though is a big test, by the way. Very quickly on Spurs before we move on to something else. So obviously they've got Chelsea next again. Chelsea at home. Chelsea's. Yeah, anyway, we'll touch on that. But then after Chelsea, as of the 26th of November, they've got Villa, City away, West Ham at home, Newcastle at home. So those next 4 games where teams are in and around the kind of the top 4. Fair enough, West Ham maybe lost against Everton at the weekend, so let's say that maybe meh. But Villa, City and Newcastle are not going to be an easy games.
No.
We will actually judge them. But if they do come to Christmas, by the way, quick question for you. If they are Christmas or post-Christmas, early New Year, and they're still top of the league, 3-4 points ahead, title contenders for you or not?
If
get your Arsenal hat off.
It's Ferrari hat, but I know what you mean.
I'm not saying Ferrari hat, dickhead. I don't mean literally take your hat off. But I mean move your Arsenal cap and step into the unbiased room.
Right. Yes and no in terms of, yes, they are in a very good position to challenge for yes, there will be title contenders, but winning it again, just look at Arsenal last season. They did so well, and then City just went supercharged. So Super Saiyan, they took over, and I'm not saying take it lightly, for opponents of Spurs. I'm not saying take them lightly, but I just feel like, I don't know, something's going to give just purely based on performances. So definitely title contenders. If they're top by Christmas, then why not? Why not? Like Leicester, Leicester won it, so technically, yes, they were title contenders, by Christmas sort of thing. But no one would say Leicester's going to win the title, So
no, of course not, and then they end up
and that's it,
taking it.
So if Spurs win it, then fair dues to them. They rebuilt the team. They got rid of. I just feel like if they win, maybe Harry Kane was the one dragging them back, which sounds crazy.
Sounds crazy, doesn't it? I don't think it's Harry Kane. I genuinely think it's managers, the way they play.
The reason I say that is because when you have a Harry Kane in your team, nothing else matters. No one else matters in your team. It's Harry Kane only. You build a team around Harry Kane. Even if he's 40-year-old at Tottenham, they will build a team around him. Yeah. But now that he's gone, it was like backs against the wall. All right, shit, we sold our player. We've got the money now. We've got a coach. Shit, we need to bounce back. We can't just sit around on our laurels and be like, we sold Harry Kane and how are we going to do this? Nah. So I like about Spurs, the fact that they'd sold him, great, the best player, irreplaceable. They sold him anyway. They were like, right, fuck it, we're going to rebuild. And maybe that's worked out for them. That's what I was saying earlier. Like maybe that's what it was needed, Kane to leave, so everyone else could start showing up and actually fulfilling their potential. So
and they have, haven't they? Everybody stepped up rather than being in Kane's shadow. So I agree with
Richarlison, obviously, it is what it is.
Richarlison, it is what it is for Richarlison. It's 50 million down the drain.
60 million, whatever it was.
Was it 60?
It's shocking.
One thing I wanted to ask you is their midfielders, are they like nationality of Basuma and some of them? Because we've got AFCON this year.
Yes.
And obviously their midfield has been quite strong. So if they lose those... Is he Ivory Coast? Is that where he's from?
So I think Basuma is Ivory Coast, but
and if he is, obviously he's been there pretty much. Their spark in that middle has been quite solid in there, apart from when he got the red card at Luton.
Well,
but before that, I was a big admirer of his. I thought he played really bad.
He's from Mali, by the way.
Mali. All right, okay. So he'll probably go then.
Pape Sarr, the other midfielder, he's from Senegal. So
They're going to lose their midfielders.
That's literally two midfielders.
Daniel Levy, literally, and two midfielders who have been playing in that 11, in that spine of that starting 11. So, whichever way you want to look at it, they need to be replaced with somebody. And I think you replace them in January and start kind of integrating them in the team early January. If I was Daniel Levy now and Tottenham and Postecoglou, I would say these are the guys I want. And I want them to come through 1st or 2nd of Jan as soon as the window opens, so I can integrate them into the team, so I can get them to play the way I want to play them, get them used to the rest of the players and the way they play, so that by mid-February, when these players leave for AFCON, African Cup of Nations, then all of a sudden you've got somebody there who's not new to the system, who's not new to being around. And that's what if I was Spurs fans, that's what I'd be crying out for. Doing business early.
I agree.
Before double digits in January.
Hopefully it doesn't happen, but
hopefully I agree with but I'm just saying, like, without the Chelsea cap on, that's what I'll be talking about.
I agree. We'll move on to Saturday. I'll tell you what, we'll do a quick roundup of the other games before we discuss our respective games. I know, obviously, you're dying to discuss Chelsea.
No, not really. Dying is a strong word, but...
Obviously, on Saturday we had Bournemouth-Burnley 2-1. We didn't do any predictions, as we said at the top of the episode. But any surprises there, do you think, 2-1? Not really. Bournemouth-Burnley, they're two different leagues still.
They are. But to be fair, like, Taylor scored for Burnley early on, and then they conceded. They were winning 1-0 and then lost 2-1. 76 minutes. It's just naive. It's naive play from Company. And I know he's trying to stick to their roots, and kind of be like, oh, this is our identity, this is how we play. But come on, mate, like, be serious. You can play like that in the Championship, but you're still at the bottom with one win in however many games. One win and lost 8. Yeah, it's one win, one draw, and they've lost 8.
It's the numbers are shocking to read. By the way, that's how bad the numbers are. They are just they don't make for good reading, and unfortunately, it's going to be all 3 teams that were promoted. All 3 teams are going to get demoted. So. They're going to be relegated.
I think so as well.
I think everyone else this season is sort of like looking at the bottom 3 and thinking, "Oh shit, this is going to be a good year." Because no matter what we do, we ain't going down.
We ain't going down because someone's doing worse than us.
Bournemouth's got wins. Obviously, the rest of the teams have got wins as well. Who are in that situation? Just these guys a win each. And however many losses, it's just not good enough.
Yeah. To be fair, it was a 6-pointer, wasn't it? Burnley was a 6-pointer because Burnley were on 4 points, Bournemouth were on 3 points.
Wow.
And Bournemouth won, and now they're out of the relegation zone. It's back to those 3 teams that came up, Luton, Burnley.
So it's no real surprise there, to be honest with you. But and then obviously the real surprise was Wolves Newcastle. In all honesty,
it was a poor decision. I don't know. Did you see the penalty?
I think
I forgot his name. The guy who kicked him, the Korean fella, did the kick, or like he pulled back, but then the player went down. I think his name is Chang. Chang. He went. I think that's his name. Yeah, he scored a great goal, by the way, to make it 2-2. What a finish! Absolutely insane.
I don't think I watched it. I'm just going to have a quick
incredible.
Talk to me about some of the stuff that you saw.
No, the things that I saw there was like Newcastle played well. They had to prove a point. They're coming back after that Champions League defeat away, rainy day in Wolverhampton, and they performed well. What's his name? Callum Wilson.
He had a good game.
Callum Wilson scored 2, so well done to him. I wish I put him on my FPL, because although I was debating, I was like, I think I want to put him in. And I was like,
Watkins, I couldn't afford him. I wanted Watkins, but I could not afford him. So
I kept Watkins in there.
And of course you did.
Of course I did. Of course I did, fella.
But
calling back those 2 weeks.
I think you've made.
I'm going to keep going on about it. But joking aside, they played well, obviously. And to be fair, can I just say, I quite like that Newcastle kit, that green kit. It takes the piss a little bit because it's effectively the Saudi Arabia kit with the Newcastle badge.
It's exactly
green and white. It's literally the Saudi Arabia kit with a Newcastle badge. But no, I was happy for Newcastle winning, and then Wolves just pulled it back. Like, fantastic goal, by the way. Excellent. Like, it's just the way he sold the defender, sold the dummy, put it in the bottom corner. Great finish. And you know what? I think the draw was a fair result. Newcastle were better first half. Wolverhampton started controlling the game a little bit more in the second half, especially when they went down 2-1.
Yeah, Mario Lemina with the goal, which actually I was quite happy with because I like Mario Lemina. I always bought.
Yeah, no, he's a decent player. Yeah, he's a decent player, to be fair. So yeah, no, I was happy for him as well.
Very good.
But I'm happy for Gary O'Neill. Yeah, look at both of us. Look at my guy. Yeah, no, I'm happy for him, to be honest with you. I'm really happy that he's doing all right with him. So
I'm just looking at the penalty real quick. I just want to see what happened here. I mean,
in real play, you think, but we don't need to make decisions on real play anymore. Like you can make the decision, then you go to VAR. You can see the player pulled out. He's kind of fallen already before the touches even happened. For me, it wasn't a penalty. I'm not trying to be biased neither to be like, if it happened to Chelsea, I would say it's a penalty. Like for me, it wasn't a penalty either way.
It would be a difficult penalty to solve, even for your own team. You kind of think, right, okay, we got it, but did we really?
We got it, but did we deserve it? Was it really a pen? Yeah, we'll take the decision, but it wasn't.
Sometimes you got to take the good karma, you know.
You do, exactly. And I'm sure Newcastle will get some karma back.
Beautiful, Maggie Chan. Excellent.
Do you see the finish?
Yeah,
quality finish. The pass through, the turn with the mate, it was a great finish. Great finish. Great composure. Composure,
lads. He's a very good player, to be honest. So, but there you go. Wolves, Newcastle 2-2, and no, a little bit surprised, like you said, just because Newcastle is supposed to be this team, but yeah, it seems like they're probably even struggling with the.
They were a bit tired. You can tell they were a bit tired as well. Yeah, that's it. They were tired, and obviously financially they can't really do much because they're limited to how much money they bring in. I watched a documentary about Newcastle, and I think all the Premier League's teams voted on when Newcastle got taken over by the Saudis that they should implement that whole financial fair play rule in the Prem as well, of spend within your limits. Because if this is 04-05 when Abramovich took over Chelsea and he went like spending crazy, I think we would have seen some of the best players at Newcastle.
Yeah, already.
And in a way, you kind of hope you do, because imagine when City got the money from, and then Robinho signed. You're like, wait, what the fuck? Robinho has signed for Man City. What is going on there? And that kind of started everybody else coming in. So yeah, but no, they were a bit tired, but obviously they need a bit more depth to the squad. Tonali being not injured, suspended. Sorry, I saw the stuff you put on there. No, that was quite funny. Tony Ali.
I love it.
Loved it all.
That was obviously, for people who don't know, we'll put a picture up on Twitter and stuff.
On Twitter.
On X, whatever.
Oh, yeah, whatever it's called. Well, the old school, so it's clearly Twitter.
Yeah, it's obviously Twitter.
But yeah, I was going to say. So yeah, no. To be fair, I was disappointed for him, and it made me think this, because there's a couple of other Italian players that got done, and obviously Ivan Toney got done. It's a serious problem, isn't it? This whole gambling. Like, you're thinking to yourself, you're making X amount of thousands a week. To the average guy like you, the listeners, if you are average, or if you may have, we don't know your financial situation, but to the average person, you think to yourself, wow, like how much more money do you need? You're making 20 grand a week. You're making 50, 100, 5, 7, or whatever you're making. Than to go and gamble it, and to go, it clearly it's the addiction, isn't it? Something is wrong internally to think, do you know what, I'm going to go and do this. But I watched a clip of the Italian guy, I can't remember his name, but apparently he owed 3-4 million to the mafia. So then he was asking his teammates for money, and he was crying when they lost, like physically like crying, because he just realized how much money he owes to the Italian mafia.
Jeez.
And it just got me thinking that like you just never know, do you? Outside looking in, you think like, oh, he's just hurt because he lost the game, or why is this guy doing that? Why is he crying? Like, it's
Cosa Nostra is at his house
Absolutely,
right now.
Yeah, that's it. Somebody's knocking on his house with a flipping silencer on the pistol going.
Just twisting it on. Yeah, just twisting
Buongiorno.
And good night to you.
Yes. But no, to be fair, it's crazy. It's crazy, and obviously, yeah, they need to do something. And I think football clubs, what they're going to do now, this is the point I was trying to make, is although you're going to buy the player, I think they're going to start looking into the history of gambling. Is there a rumor with it? Yeah. Could it possibly be true? Because you can't buy a £60 million player and lose him out for 10 months through no fault of your own. No injury, it's just simply because it was something he did 10 months ago or a year ago before you bought him.
Yeah.
So
it should be like a clause in the contract. If you get caught with that type of shit, then your contract is terminated immediately.
I think so, yeah. Or terminated, or you don't get paid for the time that you suspended. You're suspended. So because obviously, I've invested 60 million on you, but I need to make some money back from you, because 10 months, his salary must be at least $1 million a year. $1 million a month, or maybe less. Let's say 700 a month.
Less, I would imagine. Yeah.
Well, whatever it is, in 10 months, they're probably going to save 4 million, 5 million. Still, it's a £5 million save.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Do you know what I mean?
Even for big clubs, it's still a lot of money.
So even if he's on like 500 grand a month, that's still more than enough money to save.
It's a lot more. Yeah.
I do think they're going to kind of reduce his salary. I don't think they'll go as far as that. There were rumors they'll reduce his salary, I think, by 75%.
Which makes sense.
For the time that he's off, so yeah.
Yeah, what else are you going to do? Go to training, mate, and get the money that you're not playing for. So
that's it.
Moving on to Sunday, then we'll just rattle these off real quick. West Ham Everton, it was 1-0 Everton. Bit of a surprise. Obviously, don't really care for Everton or Sean Dyche, in all honesty. But I like West Ham. That's my thing. I do like West Ham. I do respect them as a team. David Moyes has done a good job. But there you go, 1-0. Are you surprised on that one, Everton?
I was, to be fair. I was surprised Everton lost, especially at home, but I didn't watch anything. I've not seen any highlights on it. So, I don't know. But obviously for them, they won it. It's typical Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He'll do something for the next 4 or 5 weeks, then get injured.
Yeah, Jack Harrison with the assist. Again, he's a good player, but if he stays fit and playing for them constantly, he'll do well as well. Aston Villa Luton 3-1 for Villa. Yeah, standard, not real. McGinn, Diaby, and then a own goal, and then Martinez own goal for Luton.
Yeah.
So not real surprise there. I'm surprised it wasn't even more. That's my shock on that one. Brighton Fulham, we had 1-1 on this one.
I was surprised.
1-1. Yeah,
it ended 1-1. I was surprised Fulham obviously scored, to be fair, because they've been really poor. But Brighton have been super poor as well. I go back since that defeat in the Carabao Cup to Chelsea, and then obviously 6-0 slapping at Villa, or 6-1 to whatever it was at Villa Park.
That really brought them down to
that's
reality.
brought them down to earth. And I think as well, the people are starting to figure out De Zerbi and his tactics and the way they're playing. And for me, he needs to be careful, because although he's managing and did overachieve last year with the midweek games, it's starting to show on the thin squad that they have. They need more depth in that squad.
Oh,
but I am happy Billy Gilmore's doing well, though. I'm happy Billy Gilmore's been playing for him and playing in that midfield. He seemed well. I already knew, but I was disappointed that they sold him, to be fair. Chelsea sold him. But no, he's doing well, so I'm happy for him.
I agree. And I'm just watching Ferguson's goal here. And again, he's back. Ferguson's back, Evan Ferguson. And he's a very good striker. Gets a goal. And then obviously Paulinho makes it 1-1. But a little bit of a... If we made predictions, probably one of us at least would have said a draw, because it seems like a stalemate. Just the current performances.
Yeah.
Even maybe one of us said Brighton win. But so 1-1. Then Liverpool Nottingham Forest 3-0. And before we get into it, obviously we just want to discuss what the hell, man? Luis Diaz's parents. What the fuck is going on there? Mother's been released as we record this. We don't really.
Has she been released? I listened to the radio this morning. That's what it
said. It's been reported a few times.
Okay, because I was listening on the radio this morning. Apparently, the South American news correspondent or sport expert in that area was talking about how there was a shootout at a petrol station or like a service station on the motorway,
right?
And then the mother managed to escape, but they still got the father. And there's rumors that they've crossed the border into Venezuela now.
I'm literally just reading that right now.
You're just reading that as well. Yeah, I heard that this morning. I was thinking, flipping heck. But in a way, it's crazy. But why would you leave your family in Colombia knowing how much money you're making? Why are you not able to bring them here in a visa or take them somewhere else, Spain or somewhere? You know what I mean? You can't leave these parts of the worord. No disrespect to any of the Colombians. No disrespect to the country of Colombia neither. I'm sure it's beautiful and it's amazing. But there are known South American countries where there's poverty and stuff. They are known for this kind of kidnapping and just different stuff of just trying to get money from people. You know what I mean? It's just when you make a bit of money, you're constantly under the bullseye in these countries. So they've just got to be careful. I'm sure the authorities are doing everything they can, and hopefully, he's returned soon. But
if you sign in a contract like that for a big team like Liverpool, wouldn't it be in your contract to be look, that's cool, you want me, but my parents come too, right?
That's it, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Don't get your signing bonus. What's your signing bonus? 1.2, 700,000. Say, keep your signing bonus. I want my parents to be here.
Buy them a house or whatever it is.
Buy them a house, that's it.
Or whatever you
get my mother to come and clean the stadium, or get my father to do some.
Don't even need to do that,
but if it's a job thing, visa related and stuff, maybe they'll be what's he going to do here? More, the British government, more fucking immigrants.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Do you know
what
I mean? The country's built on immigrants.
Even though the government itself is built on them, so
exactly.
And
I think players are going to start thinking twice now, especially South American players. Either they move their family away, or you get full-time security around them all the time. But I think it's easiest option is to move them away. Exactly. Either with full-time security means fuck all.
Yeah, because you're going to pay them 10 grand, for example, and then the cartel come along and all right, we'll give you 30 grand or just to piss off for an hour.
Exactly. Cartel will even just say do you want the 10 grand or do you want me to just
pop you off? Plata or plomo.
Family.
He said it himself. Escobar said it himself. Plata or plomo. There you go.
What do you want? I love that. Silver or what was it?
Silver or lead, isn't it? Plata
silver or lead.
But Yeah, so 3-0, by the way, they ended, and Jota, Salah, and Nunes all combined for a 3-0 scoreline.
I saw that. By the way, can I just touch on something?
Yeah,
Jota, I'm sure he had good intentions to try to hold the Luis Diaz number, but he's not dead, bro. Like, you didn't need to hold his number up like that. Like, in support of Diaz.
I didn't watch any
he did the Diaz stuff. He was holding the number up shirt and so on. Like, do you know what I mean? It's something like you expect Man United to do if they scored with Sir Bobby Charlton, to have it like, oh, well, you know what I mean? Like, as a memory, it'd have been nice. But not some guy who's just, his parents, sorry, I take that back. I don't mean just, but he's not dead. Like, you don't need to kind of hold his shirt. I mean, you're all together, you're all for him, blah, 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 but he's not dead.
No, we're all.
And if you really care that much, get some private investigator and say how much do they want him paid off on your behalf, or get together Liverpool.
The 11 players can bring up like 2 million altogether.
Easy. 11 and the rest of the squad who's in the squad, just all put 20 grand each, 50 grand each, and then you're there.
Van Dijk and Salah would be enough. So there you go. But yeah, so 3-0 on that. Szoboszlai got 2 assists.
He's quality, by the way. He's quality.
And I did want to say real quick on Nottingham Forest, because I didn't realize they had him. There's a player called Nicolas Dominguez, and Argentine, and I always bought him on my FIFA, and he is, I think I bought him like 79 rating, and I took him up to like 88 or something, or 89 rating in a matter of like 3 seasons. And honestly, one of the best players that I've had in the midfield for a team, but I didn't realize he played for Notts Forest.
Who is it?
It's called Nicolas Dominguez. And I will find...
Yeah, number 16.
Yeah, I will find a clip of my FIFA with that to prove it. But yeah, so...
Love that.
No real shocks there. 3-0 straight up.
I think somebody played FIFA in the recruitment as well and thought, you know what, he can be good with the right coaching.
Yeah, I think so. But it turns out, no, you can't.
Yeah.
And the last match of yesterday's was obviously the Manchester derby, United versus City. And...
boring match, I'll be honest with you. I watched it.
It was boring because Man United made it boring because they just did not know how to play football. And City, what else are they going to do, Rick? Like, this is the thing.
I agree with you.
Boring, but what else are they going to do? They can't just...
No, that's it. They can't do it. Well, they scored 3-0. As far as they're concerned, the quality. By the way, can I just say, appalling behaviour from Bruno Fernandes and Anthony.
Bruno Fernandes, Anthony, appalling behaviour. Both
awful. Trying to show... Gary Neville touched on it as well. They're trying to act like as if they're doing something, but half of the fans have left. They're not fooling anyone with this kind of stuff. Bruno Fernandes, Roy Keane touched it on as well. He's just, what the hell is he doing? He was windmilling to try and get his hands down. And if anything, Doku won because he sent the Instagram post afterwards with his finger pointing, saying, and a kind of a meme saying, Manchester is blue.
Love it.
Listen here, mate. Manchester is blue.
Love it. And do you know what?
Absolutely ripped it.
It was. I don't think Doku got, because the ref went obviously to give Doku a yellow, or it looked like that.
Yeah.
He never got the yellow. Now, obviously, I was thinking, why would Doku get the yellow? All he did was just do this.
Don't do that.
The other guy almost had a fit. Almost snapped his own shoulder just how fast he was.
Part of me was hoping Doku was going to go down when Anthony swung his arms, just to go down and be like, oh, I've hurt my face, I hurt my arm, or something, just to get him sent off. That would have been cherry on top.
Yeah, yellow card, red card, see you later, lad, for faking.
No, Man United can't seem to do anything right. And I blame, to be honest with you, Ten Hag. And I know Gary Neville and a lot of Man United fans keep going on, it's the owners, and it's not the owners, what different, and so on and so forth. But like we said it for Chelsea under Potter, it's the manager. You need to have better tactics. Yeah. At the end of the day, what you do for those 90 minutes on the pitch, yes, okay, you're under stress. Yes, okay, you're under worried whether you're going to play here next year or not. But, this is your opportunity to prove to yourself to play here next year. When Newcastle got taken over by Saudi, did you think Matty Longstaff is still going to be in the team? No, but he fucking got his head down. Yeah. He worked hard, and he's still in the team playing Champions League football. So's Murphy, so's some of those guys. You think these guys are not going to be here next year. Yeah. They're still there playing well and got Newcastle into a Champions League position. So, and a cup final in the Carabao Cup against United. So, you know what? This just goes to show, don't worry about what's happening above. Get your head down and you just focus on your football, and that's it.
Yeah. You can't just blame it on the owners every time something doesn't go well, because at the end of the day, the owners aren't on the pitch. They've hired someone, they've entrusted, or whatever it is, and the fans have been like, we accept him in Ten Hag. But something's got to give. The owners can only do so much. They can bring it. There you go. Like Chelsea being the prime example. Todd Bowley, he brought in 18 players or something like that. So, and what does that mean? Just because he brought players in, does that mean that everyone loves him? No, they actually hate him more.
They fucking hate him, yeah.
They hate him more because they're not making the right decisions. And Ten Hag, shit, how long have I been saying it? You know, I just don't think, and I've never thought that he's the right guy for that team.
No.
And I don't want to be
naive.
talking about like wax lyrically about, you know, Fergie or, you know, the time of Fergie and stuff like that. No, because obviously that's gone now. But unfortunately,
long gone.
This is it. This is the Man United that used to be. They're not anymore. Arsenal that used to be. They haven't been for a long time. A season of doing well, it doesn't mean we've changed just yet.
No, of course, I agree with you, but you're on your way. There's progress. You can see the progress with you guys. Yeah. You see the way you're playing. You're not scared. You're not. The biggest thing of a team is as well. You know? That's it. But you guys don't show fear. You play like fearless football. You're so confident in playing your own identity and your own football. You don't care who you're playing against. Okay, you lose against City, but you continue and you'll win next game.
Not
okay, you drew against Chelsea.
Not this season.
Not this season. No, you beat. Yeah, but I mean, for last year and so on. But this year, look, it's short. Last year you played. Listen, last year you played. You still did it. You beat them this year. Okay, so well done. Credit to the team. Manchester United have just been awful. Have been absolutely awful. Yeah. Even the wins that they have taken this year have not looked convincing. Do you know? I blame the manager. I blame the tactics. Yesterday, Bruno Fernandes was playing on the right. Why is Bruno Fernandes playing on the right? What's Bruno expected to do on the right? What, track back with Grealish and whoever else is down that left wing? Put him in the middle where he's more dangerous. Why would you even play Bruno Fernandes on the right? Play Anthony, or just bring Jadon Sancho in and apologise to the kid, or even have this heart-to-heart conversation. Say, listen, for the great of the club, it's going to come out that you've apologised to me. That's it.
Yeah.
It's become such a shambles. He doesn't have any wingers. Play Anthony or play Rashford. Play Martial on the left, Rashford on the right, and Højlund up top. He took Højlund off. He was the biggest threat. He was the one holding the ball up. He was when they made those substitutions. Did you? Yeah, I know. But the penalties, that's a striker defending, like, got caught up in the moment. And this actually, in this situation, that's when experience does come into play, because you're like, okay, the occasion is huge, but I shouldn't really wrap my hands around, especially with VAR these days. I'm not going to get away with it.
Yeah.
Because anybody's going down, the slightest tackle is they're going down. But Ten Hag got it wrong. When he took those off and he brought on flipping Guy Nacho.
He brought in Garnacho.
And Mount, wasn't it? Who came on?
He took off Reguilon for Højlund. He took off Højlund for Reguilon, which is like, what are you talking about? But that's what he did.
You need a goal. You are chasing the game. You're going to put a left back on.
Which is like...
Mason Mount came on and did shite, by the way. Like, absolutely shite. It's something that, like, everybody said before when we were about Kova, Mount and Havertz. Oh, Man United will get the best of him. Oh, Arteta will get the best of Havertz. Nothing. Neither of them are playing. They're all bench warmers. And we've literally sold them for over 150 million. 100.
His camera has frozen.
However much we sold them all for. So in a way, a good bit of business from us. But no, just shite, absolutely shite. Maybe he'll come good. I don't know. I don't care, and I've lost you completely. Where have you gone?
If you're anything like me, my headwear is only New Era caps. New Era is the official headwear provider for NFL, MLB, and the NBA. But New Era caps are not just headwear. They are a global brand of culture, style, and self-expression. I'm a huge fan of rap and hip-hop, and growing up, I used to watch artists sporting the New Era caps. I was mesmerized by the way they used to fit just perfectly. I remember my first ever New Era cap. It was a Blue Jays cap. I lived in Toronto, so it had to be. My favorite from my personal collection is my LA Dodgers. I have 2 different versions, fitted and the 940. What I love most about New Era is the quality of the product is second to none. I refuse to wear any other brand caps when New Era is available. So if you want to dress like your favorite sports stars and musicians, visit the official website neweracap.com and use code TASHMIKE at checkout for 15% off. That's neweracap.com and use the code TASHMIKE for 15% off. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. And I don't know what happened. Just both disappeared, apparently. It's just one of those things. But yeah, Man United, going back to it, and because it just seems same as Chelsea, you know, we're just keep repeating ourselves with the bad performances and everything.
That's
and it is just down to the manager, and Ten Hag is, unfortunately, it's time. His time is coming to an end, I feel.
I think so as well, yeah. Christmas, I think I give as far as Christmas.
Yeah, I can't see anything else changing drastically without him leaving. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, and I think his problem started off when he ousted Ronaldo way back when, and the way that he's mistreated pretty much all his players, wingers in this case. He doesn't like wingers. That's his problem. He's a breast man, so he doesn't like wings. But so yeah, time's almost over. I believe I can't see anything good coming from Manchester United this season. in all honesty. And,
no, neither can I.
Even Champions League wise, they've done well because they're facing like Copenhagen's or whatever. But
I've got, like I said earlier in the pod, though, I genuinely think they'll get beat by Copenhagen away at Copenhagen. Copenhagen were unlucky not to draw or at least win that game and score early on. So it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see. But I agree with you. His days are numbered. If he continues playing like this, they'll get rid of him, and they need to. I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming over, taking over, means fuck all. Like, it's Manchester United. It is what it is to them. They're buying mediocre players for all inflated prices, and the manager who has them can't seem to do anything with them. So yeah.
Maybe he should take over Chelsea. I don't know.
Who? Ten Hag?
Ten Hag, yeah, maybe.
Well, Chelsea are doing all right in making those wrong decisions themselves, really. They don't really need a Ten Hag at the minute.
That's true, yeah. Ten Hag,
because we'll touch on that when we get to Chelsea.
But actually, we'll
good segue in.
We'll segue straight into Chelsea right now, to be fair. And 2-0 loss against Brentford, even though from stats-wise alone, you played really well. And what do you think? Unfortunate or just typical Chelsea so far?
Typical Chelsea so far, mate. Like I said it to you last week when we drew against Arsenal, or we were winning against Arsenal, and I said to you, like, teams that defend, we seem to play horseshoe football, and that's effectively what it was. You said like we were dominating from the stats, but shots on target, they had 5, we had 2.
Yes,
we had the ball 70%, 69% to be exact, but let's say 70% with 17 shots. Yeah. How have we had 17 shots and only 2 have gone on target? Like, what is going on there?
Who's shooting?
Do you know what I mean? And the fouls, exactly. Who is shooting? This is the thing.
Well, Sterling obviously skied it at one point. And sorry, because I know you'll have your own opinion on this, but Nicholas Jackson, what a wasteful player in that, especially in that.
Awful, man.
Wasteful player. I was watching Wrighty's analysis of him, and again, until a professional, a proper footballer striker who's been there, knows the movements because he's done that many years of training, when he points it out and he's like, why isn't he moving here? But then again, he slows it down. And then when he slows it down, you as an audience, you're watching, you think, oh, yeah, he's going to go, he could go either left or right. But
he doesn't.
He doesn't. And again, he's a very raw player. And again, right now, he doesn't have that mobility or that sort of the footballing brain to make the runs.
I think he doesn't have the footballing brain. That's what it is. Maybe it's an experience for the league here. Maybe it's like, oh, I've got more time than I actually have, and he's trying some flicks. There was a moment I was watching the game. Did you watch the match, by the way?
Not all of it, no.
Not all of it, right. Okay, so there was a moment we were trying to look like a little bit of a counter, building up some play, and we were very slow build-up play. When teams are sitting back the way that Brentford did, defended with all 11, you have to move the ball quick. There is no time for you to take a touch, take another touch, then pass. You have to get rid of it. It comes, it goes. It comes, it goes, and you try to be as positive as you can with the pass. And we weren't. We were very much get the ball, slow it down. Let's have a little look around. Cole Palmer, tried a couple of flicks. Passes and
Palmer was fuming at Nick Jackson.
Of course, he was angry because he didn't make the runs. Cole Palmer played with Man City, where players were making runs off the ball, even to get the ball or to drag the defender away to create space for the next guy. This guy doesn't know what he's doing at the minute. And there was an incident that happened while we were quickly on Jackson. At halftime, he was walking in. A Chelsea fan went to him, "Wake up." And he tried to shush the Chelsea fan. Like, come on, mate. Like, you don't do that, first of all. You can shush. Okay, the Chelsea fan didn't say anything rude to you. You can't do that if he's offensive. He just told you to wake up. Like, you need to be more. Obviously, as Chelsea fans, we are crying inside. We are so depressed watching our team. We watch it because we love our team. We watch it because we're hopeful of something's going to change. We watch it because we're expecting some intensity like we did against Arsenal. But it shouldn't have to be like Arsenal derbies every week. You have to be up for it. I go back to what I said about Newcastle. You have to be up for every game in the Prem. If you don't, we got beat by Nottingham Forest 1-0 when we dominated the match. We got beat by Brentford 2-0. 1-0, 2. I know it's 2-0 on the scoreline, but that was the second goal was the goalkeeper trying to chase a draw. Like everybody's like, what's he doing? Losing 2-0, losing 1-0, not much big difference. It's not like we're going to be in the relegation battle and we need that goal difference to stay up. But yeah, man, as the players, I was poor, focused on the lineup. I don't understand why Reece James wasn't playing. Disasi was there. I don't understand why maybe Cucurella could have stayed right, just same way that we played against Arsenal. Yeah. Why is Madueke starting? He had one shot, and his one shot hit the post, and then nothing all game.
Nothing, yeah.
Raheem Sterling did well, to be fair. Raheem Sterling, I'm not going to trash him anymore, not anymore, but for this game, he was a bit more positive, and that's all I've been asking. Run at defenders, use your pace, use your trickery, because defenders are thinking like, oh shit, which way is Raheem going to go? Because a bit like Saka, he can go left and right.
Yeah.
And you don't know which way to show Raheem. So then keep going. Do that. That is your strength. I don't want you to do anything else apart from get the ball and run at defenders, unless you're doubled up and then obviously you look to pass it somewhere else. If you're one-on-one, bro, run at the defender.
Yeah.
He did. Like you mentioned, Cole Palmer had a decent game, but there wasn't enough. I don't know why Enzo didn't play. I think he was injured. But obviously Reece James was on the bench. I don't understand why he didn't start. And I don't know what had happened with Mudryk as well. Because to be honest with you, I was very hopeful for this game. After that positive performance against Arsenal, I was expecting an unchanged 11. I was expecting the exact same 11 against Brentford, and it just didn't happen. And the manager's decisions, some of the changes that he made, and some of the stuff that he's doing, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. He's frustrated, but we're just playing horseshoe football. And to be fair, I'm frustrated. As a fan, I don't really have much to say because it's a repeat, a copy and paste.
Yeah.
I'm just frustrated. And there's individual players that are letting the team down. And
you're right. And I was frustrated for you, to be honest, just watching Nicholas Jackson and just being wasteful of chances. And it's, I mean, you could say Breuer could be in there. He could do something better. Maybe.
I think he's injured. But
I think so. But obviously, of course, he's injured. I'm just saying, again, you're just waiting now on one player to replace another for something to happen rather than, oh, yeah, we've got 4 of our best 11 starting every single game. But I don't know. I don't even know who your best 4 of the starting 11 are. Like, I couldn't even tell you. I could probably Palmer's been well. He's done well. Enzo Fernandez has done well. Mudryk, I'm not even going to put him on that list because, again, he hasn't done that well consistently anyway. Like
he's not been consistently from the start. Past 3 games, he's done all right.
He's done all right, yeah.
Before, from August to now, you wouldn't put him down.
That's 2 players that I mentioned.
For me, like I think like with the Mudryk, he wasn't on the bench neither, didn't even make the team, so maybe he was not well. But like you need consistency with the starting 11. He's playing 4-2-3-1 when before he liked to play 4-3-3. Okay, so do that again. Then why have you gone to a 4-2-3-1? Why have we changed it? There's players on the bench who can come on. That Ogochukwu could play in that midfield, could go 4-3-3. Caicedo, Gallagher, and Ogochukwu. Barry Shield could play. Reece James is on the bench. Like, why is he not playing? Have we got a game midweek? What's going on? Oh, have we got? I know we've got a game midweek. Sorry, did we have a game midweek? We didn't. So why is he not playing? Yeah. Play him, go 2-0 up, go 3-0 up, right? Come off, James. Yeah, come off now. Do you know what I mean? Come off. Let's try and score the goal first rather than be like, oh, you'll come on when we win in 2-0. Bro, we're not scoring goals.
I feel like he's too scared though. Pochettino is too scared to do that type of stuff because then you'll take him off and then he's like, balls. What if we concede? And then I've just taken off Reece James. So again, it's psychological factors with the players and managers right now.
Shite.
Yeah,
absolutely
I agree.
Shite.
It wasn't
everywhere.
Just from the stats alone. If anyone didn't watch the match, from the stats alone, it looks like Chelsea should have won that game easily. You know?
Yeah. Well, you look at that. Like I think the only stat that kind of favors Chelsea is the possession.
Everything else, apart from the shots on target, everything else favors Chelsea. 17
apart from shots on targets, that's it.
Which is important, obviously, of course, of course. But they could have 5 shots on target, but Chelsea had 2, but they won 2-0. You know, they.
No, I get you exactly. It's similar to like when we drew 2-2 with you guys. You know, like I think you guys didn't have any shots on target. The one shot you did was a goal, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay,
my point.
I hear that, but what I'm trying to get at is the creativity of us. We kept the ball for 70% of the time.
Yeah.
To only have 2 on target, and okay, we had 17 shots, but what is super wasteful? Yeah, you can't do that. We are a mid-table
That's amateur
team.
Numbers. That's amateur numbers, isn't it?
Yeah, we are literally a mid-table. Those are mid-table figures.
Yeah,
right. When you only have 17 shots and 2 on goal, and we literally sit bang on in the middle, 11th. And Brentford have gone above us with that victory against us. And I can't believe
that was a West London derby as well, by the way. So you were talking about like an Arsenal derby, but this is a West London derby.
I think with the Arsenal, the derby with it is more to do with the history behind it and the classic, and Mourinho, Wenger, etc., so on and so forth.
It's the London El Clasico at the end of the day. So.
London El Clasico, love that.
Right? Or the classic in English.
Or the classic, the London Classic.
Hey. Tell me that's not a good shout, right?
That's
London
a great
Classic.
shout.
That's a great one, right?
Classic. That is literally it.
Come on.
That's literally
exactly. There we go.
Modern Classic. Anyway, before we go on to like,
of course,
Millwall, West Ham, and all that other stuff. Modern
Millwall,
Classic. Yeah.
When's the last time Millwall saw the Premier League? So let's just behave ourselves, right?
I think they've seen it on the. I've seen they've seen it on
Flash Scores.
Flash Scores and Sky Sports.
So, but it should have been a bit more. They should have taken a little bit more pride. But then it goes back to what you've been saying for a long time. You have no one there to take pride in the team, and the players that are there, they're not playing. So it's
this is. I think what it is with him as well. By the way, just quick point before I wrap it all up is I think the ownership has got this model of like, rather than paying Brighton for 100 million, rather than paying so and so for this much money, let's find our own talent and grow them. But the fans, we're not a Brighton expectation, we're not a Everton expectation or a Villa or so on. The expectation is Champions League football every year and finishing top of the league every year. Okay, realistically, it's not going to happen, but that's the expectation from all fans and the winning trophies. We're not in the business, or as fans, we've never been. Okay, we were prior to the Abramovich money, but obviously we had that taste for success. You can't go back now.
No,
you know what I mean? Once you start winning Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues and FA Cups and just trophies in general, you can't go back to being like, how about we watch this 18-year-old grow into a £120 million player? Do you know? No, there's no bragging rights. You as an Arsenal fan, you were there when you had the Cesc Fabregas and so on. You were like buying absolute peanut players and then selling them for like 40, 50 million back then, which was probably equivalent to 100 now. And I think that's something that Todd Bowley's trying to do without realising what we actually are as a football club. And the players has gone and bought. You're telling me there was nobody out there as a striker to go and say, like, actually, do you know what? We need you because I'm quite sure you're going to get us 20 goals a season. I even said it for Jackson when we bought him. Yeah, he looks good, but all of his highlight reels are of him doing passes. Not one of them is it him being a clinical finisher. Not one of them is it him scoring goals. It's just doing passes. And he's our number 9.
He hasn't had that experience yet.
He's our number 9 though, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, experience or not, like, we needed him. We cried for a striker last year. We got this guy. We're like, all right, first game against Liverpool. Oh, he looks pretty good. But he didn't shoot. He didn't score. He scored one goal, lucky goal, and then he went and screamed and at the TV camera said, come on. And then he went quiet again. And then he's just like, come on, bro, what's going on? And for me, this is the problem that I have with Chelsea at the minute. We're buying 18, 20-year-olds, and I understand what he's trying to do in terms of that, but we're not there. We are not that. I hope I'm proven wrong. I really, really hope I'm proven wrong.
So there's time to go yet, to be fair. So
there's time to go, but maybe when Nguku comes back and maybe Chilwell comes back, but this is looking around March now. Like, we could possibly be in a relegation battle if we continue on with winning. If we continue winning one game every 5,
you won't be in no relegation battle. You'll
if we don't win next
Luton,
week,
Burnley, and
Sheffield. That's it.
At least you won't go down.
We've got 12 points currently, right? We're 11. Wolverhampton 12, Crystal Palace 12, 13, Fulham 12, 14. If these teams draw and we get beat by Spurs, we're 14th.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Or if Everton win and Nottingham Forest win, then all of a sudden we're 16th.
This is the best time for Chelsea to play around with the relegation battle because, again, guaranteed you're not going to go down. So this is the best time. Of course,
I can't see us going down, but if we continue doing that, then obviously you can never say never, can you? Really? So happens.
It's not good. It's not good reading at all. By the way, at all. If I was a Chelsea fan, I've been in similar situations. Like, believe me, I've been in similar situations. I totally understand, and it's not good. It's not a good feeling.
We should have done a podcast then, but it wasn't popular to do podcasts when Arsenal were like this. It wasn't cool then. Now we're doing what the cool kids are doing.
So I think very, very, very disappointing for Chelsea. By the way, like, just to not even at 1-0 still would have been disappointing, but 2-0 obviously just makes it seem something a lot worse than it was. And then Poch at the end, by the way, asking for a yellow card for a potential foul that happened. Before obviously the run was made. I don't know. I don't know if that was a thing or not.
I'll be honest. It was. It looked like a harsh challenge, but it looked fair and
a bit firm. Harsh, but firm, but
hard and fair, firm but fair. Yeah,
love it.
That's literally what it was. Because, but one challenge that I did want to touch on it, but I don't know if you saw it, was the shoulder barge on Raheem Sterling's back for the penalty when it was 0-0. I don't know if you saw that or when you watched the highlights. Did they touch on that? See, if that happened the other way around against Chelsea, I've seen many of those given, and this is obviously I'm not going to lose my cool over it because I'm over it and I've kind of made my peace with decisions going against Chelsea. But if it was the other way around, that's a full-on penalty because you can't shoulder barge anybody on the back and go in ref. It was shoulder to shoulder. You can't. He's on the back. You can't come and give it to him.
It was the one where it looked like he extended his arm as well, just briefly.
And the arm, that's it. Yeah. And VAR didn't even look at it.
I was looking at that, and I said because I was watching with Dad, and I said to him, if they pick up on the arm extension, then he's going to be in trouble.
It's a push on the back.
He's going to be in trouble. Yeah. It's not a shoulder barge at that point. That's a push.
I didn't even touch on the arm. I just simply touched on the shoulder barge. But shoulder barge is shoulder to shoulder. The battle is for you playing shoulder, not on my back. I'm not going to push backwards.
You can't.
When I'm running forward, you come and just shoulder me with. Okay, you pushed me with your shoulder, but still, it's a push, regardless of what you use. Like, let's not break down the terminology of pushes only with hands. You can push me with your feet. You can push me with your hips. You can push me with your body. And Raheem's running onto the ball. His geezer's just come and clattered him from behind. Okay, maybe he made more of it, or maybe his reputation stopped him from getting a penalty.
Maybe the way that Sterling fell, to be honest.
Yeah, like kind of like a sniper in the back, so that kind of thing, and arms up in the air.
And it's
Sterling, but at the end of the day, like, it shouldn't even look at that. Like, take the players out of the way, just break it down. Is it a foul? Yes or no? If it is, regardless of where it is, it's a foul. If it merits a penalty because of the location he's in, then it's a penalty foul. It doesn't matter whether, but if that was outside, that'd be a free kick, but in the penalty, it'll have consequences because they could win one. Tough, bro. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? So, and be fair, especially when the arm came out as well. Like, to the naked eye, that did look like a push with the arm.
Yeah. No, it did. Like I watched
I think if we had scored that, we would have gone and won the game comfortably, because they would have to come out and we could have started playing the game that Poch wants to play, which is counter-attacking football. That's why we look good against Arsenal. We'll probably look good against Spurs, probably look good against City.
I don't know about Spurs because they don't really do much, to be honest with you. But
we're at their ground. Their ground. I think Pochettino's going to go with the tactics of not wanting to push. When is it? Monday night. Yeah, not wanting to go in and kind of lose. So he'll probably try and keep it tight at the back. But he's
going back to Tottenham, isn't he? So that's going to be fun. Listen, before we actually. With Chelsea, that's my main thing is just pure disappointment, because they've had enough to win. They had enough there within their team to win or take a result out of this game, but it's just very disappointing. Do you have anything else, by the way, you want to add on Chelsea? Like anything that sort of caught your eye? For me, Cole Palmer, I think he's a very good player.
Caught my eye, definitely.
You need to accommodate players around him. Like,
I'm hoping he turns into a Kevin De Bruyne when we lost. I think I've seen this comparison made as well on social media. Chelsea lose Kevin De Bruyne. He turns out to be an absolute assist machine, unbelievable footballer. I am hoping this is that karma coming back to us, saying, "Do you know what? Here's a second chance. Here's this great player with the potential to be an amazing player. Nurture him.
And you hold him.
He's yours. Hold on to him." And we did. We obviously he's under an 8-year contract. That's technically we are going to hold on to him, but then again, it means nothing. If we don't start winning, we're going to end up losing these great players to bigger teams. We'll end up losing the Mudricks, we'll end up losing the Cole Palmer.
More ambitious teams,
more successful teams, because at the end of the day, people are, because they can make the millions elsewhere. If Real Madrid come in for an Enzo, he's not going to be like, no, I'm saying at Chelsea. He'll try and push for the move. We'll just probably say like, okay, he's on a year contract. Can you give us 100? Madrid will be like, you're going to have to push for the move more, mate, for 60, because we're not paying you anything over 65.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, then we lose him for 65. And then same with Cole Palmer, and same with the rest. And, Ngoku's and Mando Broyes. We need to be careful. We need to be super careful and start winning some games.
I agree. Before I quickly touch on Arsenal, by the way, I did want to actually mention quick 2 referee decisions from the Bayern Munich Darmstadt game. And that game, they won 8-0, and Harry Kane, hat-trick, 2 assists. Smashed it up. Did you see that goal, by the way, from that?
I saw. Great finish.
Can we just take a moment and just give that goal the award, the Puskás Award, because he deserves that. And do you know what it is? It's not even the fact of the distance, but again, you'd appreciate that more than anyone, because obviously you play football for a long time, but the technique on how he pivoted his body to get that ball to go arrow straight.
No, it's fantastic.
Over that distance and arrow straight. I could not believe.
Unbelievable.
And do you know what his technique reminded me of?
Isn't he?
Yeah, he's honestly, I'm so glad to see it. And again, we've taken everything back that we've ever said. So
yeah, absolutely.
We cool, right? We cool, right, Kane?
We're good. We're good, boo.
We're good, right, Harry? You know me, Harry. Wait, do you remember that goal that Zidane scored? Obviously, ball came down. He pivoted on his left foot and then just whacked
the volley
on the volley.
Champions League, Champions League final against Bayer Leverkusen. What a finish!
Obviously, that's an even greater finish because it was on the volley. But that's what Kane's movement reminded me of. He sort of like wound himself up and then just let himself go. Do you know what I mean?
Like one of those old toys that you wind, and then just let it go.
Yeah, like the cars.
Yeah, the cars. Pull it back, wind it back. Yeah, exactly.
So it was very, very impressive. But the decisions that I wanted to talk on is the 2 penalties that they got. And both were outside the box. Both were nowhere near penalties. And if you get a chance to watch them after the pod, please do.
No, I saw them. And because I watched the highlights for that game.
What did you think of that, by the way?
It was awful. It was awful. They've got VAR in Germany as well, right? Why are they not checking? Is it a penalty or not outside? Because the thing is, it doesn't matter where the player falls. The problem is, where did the foul happen? Where did the incident happen? Where did the foul happen? Okay, the foul happened 5 yards outside the box. If the player keeps running and stumbling and falls in the box, tough, bro.
No, that's
we're not talking about 5 yards. We're talking about millimeters here, or maybe centimeters. But that's what VAR's for.
Yeah.
You look at it, you turn angles, and you make sure that you get the exact position where the person got tackled or got injured, or not injured, sorry, got fouled.
Got fouled.
If he got fouled at the outside the box or on the line, it's not a penalty. It's a free kick on the line.
Do you think
if he's inside, then fair enough. But
do you think the red cards should have stood then?
It ruined the game, didn't it? This is the thing, penalty, red cards and all this other stuff. It just ruins the game.
Obviously, Kimmich got sent off at the beginning. Fair enough for doing dumb shit.
Yeah, because he did a dumb shit. He lost the ball, then he brought the player down.
Yeah.
That you can't argue that, because that's the rules of the book. And you know what I mean? You can say to yourself, he spoiled the game, but he's applied the rules. But for the other ones as well, especially for stuff like that, you just think to yourself, come on, how?
Against the Darmstadt as well. I mean, come on, it's not like a Bayern Leverkusen or Barcelona in the final and you're doing this. I mean, come on, it's Darmstadt, and there's no way on earth. I mean, fair enough, give the fouls all day long because they were fouls.
Yeah,
but there's no way you should be brandishing 2 red cards. There's absolutely no way that team should have gone down
down to 9 players, didn't they? They were playing with 9. 10v9 it was, but still.
It was. But obviously 10v9, but it's Bayern Munich. Sane had a fantastic game.
No, wow. he seems regenerated, and he's doing unbelievable.
He's doing really, really well.
I saw the young boy as well, Musiala doing really well. While we're touching on European football very quickly, did you watch the El Clasico or saw any bits of El Clasico?
I watched bits of El Clasico. Barcelona were doing quite well, 1-0 up, and then the inevitable happened.
To be fair, I was expecting when I saw Jude Bellingham scored 2 goals, I thought they were tap-ins again, a bit like Haaland last year, right place at the right time. But that first goal, he actually absolutely smashed it. It was really, really good goal. Second one, he was typical Jude, run into the box. Somebody will make a mistake. I'll tap it in. And I'm really happy for him. So, and obviously, if I was the two, I'm more of a Madrid fan than I am a Barca fan.
Of course you are.
So,
we know that.
But one thing I want to touch on this, I found it crazy how it's not being shown live anywhere, especially in the UK, because obviously we've got that Article 48 that doesn't show 3 o'clock games from quarter to 3 till 5:15. And this is arguably one of the biggest games in Europe. El Clasico has got the name for it, but maybe since they've lost
the translation, it's the classic for people who don't know.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's literally what it's at. But to be fair, I was disappointed it wasn't shown anywhere live. I'm sure it was shown somewhere in the UK.
Looking for us, TV, so
I still didn't watch it. So.
Thank you out there. But no, I only watched bits of it. And again, it looked like not really a boring match, but not really an exciting match either. So it was one of those games. They haven't been the same. They haven't been the same since the Ronnies and the Messis. Since the guys, the Clásicos have left. The Clásicos, the Galacticos and the Ronnies and the Messis. You know what I mean? But I was going to say, don't you think sometimes the environment can make a game as well? Really get you psyched up. If it's played in a sunny condition, you're like, meh. But if it's under floodlights, evening kickoff, late or early evening kickoff, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm feeling this. Let me sit down. Let me grab some food. If it was at the new camp as well, it wasn't.
Yeah, because he wasn't there, was he? Yeah, it's just it literally felt like as if he'd lost all novelty of being an El Clasico. It just felt like he was Barca Madrid. He wasn't.
It looked like it was a training ground, didn't it?
That's literally with a running track around it or something. It was like, what is going on here? I hate when games are played at midday.
That was the Olympic Stadium from '92 when Barcelona hosted it, right?
Yeah, that's right. They went back to that.
So
while the Camp Nou's getting
renovated and being bought and stripped for bits, by the way, because did you see the kit that they were wearing with the lip and the tongue in the middle? That's the Rolling Stones. So
is that what that is?
Because obviously Barcelona have got a partnership and sponsorship with Spotify, or Spotify owned 25% of Barcelona.
Right.
Basically, they made a deal with the Rolling Stones that this El Clasico match, only for this match, they're going to have the special shirts sponsored by the Rolling Stones and Spotify.
This money grabbing technique.
€400 shirts, by the way.
Fuck that, bro.
400 euro
they just
shirts.
rape. This is why I prefer the German model when it comes to football. Just like think of the working class. Like the guy came out from a German. I don't know if he was Bayern or Bayer Leverkusen. Came out and he simply said, yes, we could charge an extra 200 euros and we could probably make an extra 4 million. But what's 4 million to us when 200 euros to the average person is a lot of money for a season ticket or three? And that is a good way of running. That's why you see the atmosphere of the yellow wall and so on and so forth in Dortmund.
I love it.
And like everywhere else, especially with Barca, they just holding on to these baboon fans who are just simply thinking, "Oh yeah, Barcelona." Do you know they were selling patches of the grass at Camp Nou?
They've sold seats.
Yeah, they sold seats and all this other stuff. When did Barcelona get to this stage? They were the club who did not need a sponsor because they were making enough money.
Yeah.
And they were the ones who were donating to UNICEF and so on and so forth because they were generating so much money. And then now you think to yourself, they are struggling to make money. Selling shirts for $400, and there's people out there who will buy it $400, €400.
It's a limited edition, I get it, but you damn right it's limited. You know what I mean? No cup holder, no back seats,
just a shiny,
two chairs in it. Yeah. But yeah, sorry, I brought up the penalty incidents, and like you said, inside the box, outside the box, which leads us nicely to Arsenal real quick. I don't know if you watched the Fabio Vieira penalty.
No, I haven't watched any Arsenal, bro.
Similar thing. I think it's Ollie Norwood, old school player, obviously been with Sheffield for a long time. Ollie Norwood tackles him just inside the box, gives him the penalty, and then obviously, Eddie Nketiah steps up. He was going to step up for his fourth goal, but passed it on to Fabio Vieira. Fabio Vieira obviously tucked it away. He's got a kid on the way. That's Eddie's explanation. That's why he gave him the ball. But do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Obviously, for the criticism that Eddie Nketiah gets, on Saturday, he was just emphatic. Like, he did everything. He was like an Eddie Nketiah mixed in with Jesus. It was incredible to see, considering in midweek, he was very, very poor. Like, he came on, must have been like maybe 60th minute, 70th minute, something like that. Excuse me. He came on and he got beat to the ball by Sergio Ramos. And Sergio Ramos is like 52 or some shit. So, he had no energy, lethargic. It just didn't move at all. No mobility at all. But then you watch him on Saturday. He was incredible. And
can I just say, I just called Sergio Ramos is 52.
Yeah. And he's not, obviously, I know that. But if you haven't watched Eddie's first goal, the way that he takes that ball.
That first touch, I was literally, as you were speaking, I just watched it when Declan Rice gave him the pass.
Yeah.
And that first touch to take it away from the defender and bring it onto his left foot. It was just incredible. Yeah, no, really, really good. But that's when you say, when you've got to play with confidence, they're not afraid to try these kind of things. And when you try, great finish again, quick reaction, smashed it.
Second goal.
But it's just movement, top bins one.
Yeah, that's a good one as well. Ball comes in,
That's what it is, just confidence. And this, I think it comes with a manager, the manager being left to do what you do, trust the manager rather than kind of, because there were rumours, by the way, just very quickly on Chelsea one, there's rumours apparently.
Ramsdale.
Not on Ramsdale, the whole, what's his name? Todd Bowley's come out saying these players must start every game. He's gave a list of 3 players that have to start every game. Now, again, this is rumoured. But again, maybe are these people making rumours for us? But I don't know who the players are. The list hasn't come out for who the players are. But you know, I just trust. Just look at what they've done.
Sanchez and Fernandes.
But yeah, possibly Caicedo, maybe Caicedo, Enzo will probably have to play because they're the 230 million for 2 players, effectively.
Yeah.
So 35 million, 235 million must play, and maybe what's his name, Mudryk as well, because he's the other big money spender of 80 something million,
and he's got maybe something else attached to him as well. So
just look at it and just think to yourself, Arsenal doing really, really well, and just say like, okay, it took 4 years to get to this level. Okay, they haven't won anything yet, but it's looking more likely of winning something than we are. So what can we do? Right, let's strip it back. We're buying cheap players. Let's not spend so much money on all these young players. Let's buy one quality striker who can get us the goal and give these young players the confidence.
Like Rasmus Højlund, for example. If you bought him, I think he would have done really well.
I think if Højlund was at Chelsea, he would have scored goals. Yeah, same.
He would have done very, very well. But
if anything, I know I don't like Lukaku as well, but like makes me think now, like, why did we get rid of him if we had no one else?
Yeah,
Nicholas Jackson was our only goal. Why have we not? Yeah,
you could have brought him back, by the way. So, look, I don't want to spend too much time on Arsenal, by the way, because again, it was against Sheffield, so let's not.
You can't get carried away with
Can't get carried away. But the couple of points I wanted to make, obviously, Raya started again, and Ramsdale was on the bench, so I I don't know how that's going to end. And I've just mentioned there that obviously there was rumours that Chelsea are after Ramsdale.
They are,
I don't doubt that for 1 second. And if it happens, I won't be surprised. And
in a way, you're going to be happy for him as well, because he was a good servant for your club. So, wherever he wants to go, really.
I think he should have the manager's blessing, because he's done really well for us. So Kivio started, and Smith Rowe started as well, first game in a long time, and he played really well. He assisted Eddie for the last goal, and he had a very good game. Odegaard, as I said, he was benched, and Jesus obviously with a bit of a knock. Eddie got his hat trick. Just unreal. Very good goals, especially the last one was a good one as well from outside the box. And it was Rice again bossing it in the midfield. He was fantastic with the obviously assist for Eddie, and just cleaning up behind, moving the ball forward, just carrying on with it. Tomiyasu comes on, he scores. Vieira comes on, he scores. So it overall, like, manager decisions, players, player performances, everyone just did their bit on Saturday, and it was amazing to see. Even though it is Sheffield United, but we needed a win like that.
You can only beat who's in front of you, though. You needed a 5-0 win like that. Confident win, and it was a clean sheet. So
it was a clean sheet for Ryan as well.
You did everything you can.
He didn't put a foot wrong really this match. He didn't do that much wrong anyway. I mean, a couple of, again, wobbly bits with his passing, but he's I don't know what's going to happen with the keeper. I don't really want to keep talking about the keeper every time we have.
No, there's not much you can talk about, but obviously I'm going to bring it up now, the keeper again on the last point. So moving on from the Premier League, so obviously you've got EFL, Carabao Cup happening this midweek, 4th round. You're going away to West Ham. Who do you play? Do you want to try and win an early trophy come February, or do you think, no, you know what, let's just focus Champions League, FA Cup, not the Mickey Mouse, which has got the name, the title, not to Guardiola. Guardiola goes for it every year.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. Because again, to him, he's got the right idea where it's like, do you know what? If we win this cup, everyone else is going to be buzzing for the next couple of cups, for the next couple of months. So, I think...
But what do you do then? Pick me your 11 at West Ham. Knowing all the things that you said, EFL Cup, who's your 11 and what's your predictions for West Ham away?
Well, considering it's going to be a Premier League team, they're probably going to go in with a strong team, because they'll probably want to win something, or maybe another trophy for David Moyes. And I personally, at this point, I'd want to start Ramsdale. I think that guy needs a game at least, and this is probably the game that he should get. Maybe Saka should be rested for at least half time. Odegaard should probably start, because he needs to get some confidence back. And Trossard should definitely give a start. Should start over Martinelli. And Nketiah, you can't drop him now. He's done well. Havertz did really well, by the way. And every game that we played with Havertz in the team, we've actually won. Whether that's direct correlation or not,
correlation, brother.
He's been a very good understated player. You know what I mean? He's the type of player who will just sort of sneak the ball back, but you didn't see that a move will go. You know what I mean? You only saw 2 moves that led to the goal, but you didn't see the move beforehand, which actually helped everyone and opened them wide. Which again, what he did for, I think, maybe the 3rd goal or something like that. Eddie's 3rd goal, where he sort of opened up a little bit. Not 3rd goal, maybe 2nd goal. I can't remember which one it was, but again, he took the ball down, just fought along with it, passed it down the center, and then boom, there you go. Bob's your uncle. So. But I think Ramsdale should start. Kivio should start. Put Gabriel back in the team, because he was rested for this match, and I probably start Zinchenko as well, just to get that little bit more confidence going from them.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, it's a Premier League team that they're facing, so Rice is definitely going to be playing. Even if it's for half a match, I don't mind that, but Rice should definitely be playing, because he'll set the tone for the rest of the game.
Nah, he's been quality for you guys.
He has been well worth 100 million, by the way. So far, he's well worth it. He hasn't put a foot wrong, and even if he's benched, obviously Partey can come on, Jorginho can come on, but I'd rather see Rice, just to get a little bit more, defensive solidity in the back, and like you said, hopefully win the first trophy by February. That'd be amazing.
That'd be great to get something in the
exactly.
That's something I'm hoping for Chelsea as well, to play Blackburn Rovers at the Bridge. Again, Wednesday night, 8:45 kickoff. I'm hoping for a victory. I'm hoping that we play well. And I've got a feeling we will win and we will play well, because it's Chelsea and we always seem to play well against these really shitty teams. Raheem Sterling will probably be involved in all 4 goals. No doubt. We'll probably get slapped by flipping Spurs at Spurs. But I say this to be fair. I think we'll probably draw or beat Spurs as well.
I think
I've got a feeling we'll probably beat Spurs
from last season
because I feel like they're going to let us. They're going to leave themselves open, and we seem to try and attack those spaces. We're very bad at breaking teams down, but if there's space, we seem to attack really well, especially with Cole Palmer finding space. But for me, he needs to play again. There's no point in resting him. It's only first time he's going to play midweek and weekend. You know, we don't have any other sort of engagements anywhere else.
Your
strongest 11.
Best 11, yeah.
Your best 11.
Best 11, yeah. Your best 11. Yeah.
The best 11 we'll have to play.
That's my other channel, by the way.
Apologise. He's just chewing. He's just chewing tobacco.
I'm just chewing some tobacco. Yeah. That's my other channel.
He's got a straw in between his teeth.
Apologies, folks. Apologies there, folks.
To be fair, I agree with you. That's what he needs to do. Put the strongest 11 out and work on some things that you want to do at the weekend as well. Okay, without giving too much away, we're going to do at the weekend. But, put the strongest team out. Let these team play together. Let them get a bit of feel of winning and scoring goals. So, yeah. So let's have your prediction then. Quickly, we won't go through them all, but we'll just have your Arsenal prediction.
Arsenal, West Ham. At West Ham, I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. And, not a comfortable win, but I think 2-1 Arsenal.
No, I think he'll win comfortably. I think he's going to be 3-1 Arsenal.
Wow, okay. That is good.
I think he'll absolutely slap
them. More than comfortable.
I've got a feeling West Ham will want to put a strong team because obviously they're going to be worried about Europa League.
Conference League,
and so on.
Yeah.
No, Europa because they won
the Europa League. My bad,
Europa League.
Apologies.
So that's another thing that's helped Declan Rice winning a trophy before he made a huge move to a big club like Arsenal. Okay, then so give me a Chelsea Blackburn. Okay, I'll go first since you went first. I think we'll win. I think we'll probably win 4-1.
4-1?
Yeah,
we will. Take it easy for a second. I think you're going to win
what you're saying, but we'll
win. What are you talking about?
We'll win 4-1. No, we will. Honestly, we will. We'll beat them like
4-1.
We'll beat them like we beat most of these other teams that were kind of in that written about.
Now that you've said that,
Blackburn Rovers are 12th in the Championship.
I think Blackburn are going to slap you, to be honest with you.
They won't do anything.
Wow.
They won't do anything.
That's brave.
And if they do something, then serious questions have got to be asked of Pochettino, selections and so on, because you can't even blame the players then. Because sometimes against Arsenal, I said to you, why did he bring Madueke on like in a huge game who hasn't played for 3 weeks? Could Mudryk and the team that was on, could they not have seen the game through, knowing that they had, again, I go back to the word, no other engagement midweek or so on. So yeah, I do think 4-1. Well, I am hoping for a 4-1.
For 4-1, fair enough.
Yeah, and they need to bounce back. Losing to Brentford, they seriously need to bounce back.
I can't see a 4-1
and a strong victory.
That's a bold.
What can you see? 1-0.
I can see a 1-0 or a 2-1 at best, but there you go. I'm going to stick with a 1-0.
Exactly. Stick to 1-0.
Stick with a 1-0.
Quickly, the last one then. Before you go, I know I said only 3, but the other one is Newcastle.
Well,
go to Old Trafford.
We've got Bournemouth, Liverpool as well, real quick, because they get 2 Premier League clubs, so you never know.
If we're doing that, there's a couple of more Premier League games.
I could see because people obviously we've got peeps to listen to this, but Bournemouth Liverpool, I can see Bournemouth winning that weirdly.
You think so?
I can see Bournemouth winning that weirdly because I don't think Liverpool are going to concentrate on this trophy. That's just my opinion on that one.
To be honest with you, I think the other way around. I think Bournemouth are not going to concentrate. They're more worried about staying in the league, so they're probably thinking like, let's just rest the place so we can get 3 points at the weekend, which is the wrong mentality to have.
Yeah, I don't know.
But with them, who have they got the weekend anyway after this? Yeah, Liverpool, and then they got City. You might as well go for this. You're going to lose to City, so you might as well go for the league, bro.
Doesn't matter, does it? And obviously we've got Everton, Burnley. I could see, I'll be honest, Burnley may put up a fight, but against Premier League teams, so Everton probably win this.
Yeah, especially being that good a City.
I think so. And then we've got Man United, Newcastle, like you said. That's the last game on the Wednesday, and it's at Old Trafford. Obviously, it's a repeat of the final. So what are you thinking?
I hope they get slapped. I hope Manchester United get slapped. I really hope they get slapped.
I think they're going to win.
I never want anybody to lose their job, but I think Ten Hag needs a reality check and actually lose his job.
Yeah.
Because I think he thinks he's better than what he is. And I think he's holding on to the glory years. Well, it's not even a glory year because they got knocked out of the Champions League. When Spurs knocked them out, they went to Madrid and beat Madrid and so on and so forth with Ajax. Yeah. And that team, he was an incredible team, playing incredible football. But he's not anywhere near that at the minute with this Man United team.
And like you said, losing the job may actually bring him back to reality.
Might bring spark something to be like, actually, let me reflect. Where did I go wrong? Like you mentioned, the Ronaldo, Sanchez, making everything public. Yeah. Like sometimes learn to keep.
He's airing out his dirty laundry. So
that's literally it. So but no, I hope Newcastle win. But do I see them winning? Probably. I see Newcastle winning. To be fair with you, mate, I think they'll win 2-1. Or 3-1.
I'm going to go with the United win on that one. I'm going to go 2-1 United on that. Do you know what? I'm even going to go for a draw. I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go for a draw.
There's no draws.
There isn't now. Okay,
in
that case, then I'm going to go with Man United win. Yeah, I think so.
Sticking to your guns, yeah?
I'm going to stick to my guns, yeah, even though I don't want to see that happen.
Have you made friends with some Man United fans?
I've my brother-in-law in it. He listens, and he's been telling me, he's like, yo, can you just take it easy a little bit? Because I'm crying over here, so I got to... Craig, shout out my brother from Scotland. But... right, look, we've gone on long enough, but we had a lot of things to include and talk about, so we're going to actually go. Rick, do you have anything else you want to add before?
No, it's too long. I wanted to touch a little bit on the silly boxing that happened, the crossover MMA and stuff, but we'll do that next time. We'll touch on that next time. And obviously, Max won again, which means nothing.
And hence why I never mentioned F1, by the way. I was happy that both Ferraris qualified 1 and 2. Inevitable by when the race started.
It's awful.
It is what it is.
Absolutely awful.
For Hamilton, obviously getting points, and
things.
Sergio Perez obviously crashed out first lap. He's got to go, right? He's got to go.
He's got to go. That was crazy what he did. There's no need to do that on the first lap. Knowing the car that you've got, sit third. There was nothing wrong with you sitting third.
Absolutely
and continuing to chase.
Nothing at all. There's no shame in going 1-2 behind Max. Going second behind Max, it doesn't matter. He's the champion. So,
but apparently he's going to lose his seat. Rumor was to Ricciardo, right? Ricciardo's going back to Red Bull.
Well, yeah, they've got the rumor going, but I genuinely thought they were going to go for Liam Lawson, but I think they've snubbed him, and because he did quite well when he stepped in for Ricciardo. So, obviously there's 4 races left, I think. Now there's Brazil, Vegas, and then Abu Dhabi, I think, there's left. So 3 races.
4 races, you mean 3?
So 3 races, I mean, 3 races, obviously. And but yeah, it's over. The season's
so hold
over.
on. Lewis Hamilton's only 20 points ahead. So going back to it, we think Lewis might finish second here.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Lewis has realised that he can go second, and he's stepped up his game.
And Lando could go third because the 2 Ferraris are on 183 points each. Lando's on 169.
Yeah, I don't know about McLaren because I don't think Lando.
He did all right though. Didn't he finish 17th? Started 17th and then finished 5th.
He did, yeah. But I'm just saying with Lando, I feel like he's going to be another overhyped driver from what I've seen so far. I think he's complaining. He's complaining too much in comparison to what he's done. Do you know what I mean? His complaints outweigh what he's done. So I just don't think that's a good mark of a driver, to be honest with you.
No.
Whereas Verstappen, he talks shit, but he backed it up. So, and he always complained about not getting first or being crashed out at first. He never complained about this and the teammate and if we had the cars and nah, mate, nah. I think Lando's making too many excuses.
Okay. But you watch him more than I do, so I'll take your word for that because I don't know.
It pains me to say because I do like Lando, but that's just from what I've seen so far. It's just
if he's a bitch, he's a bitch.
He's ready to throw his teammates under the bus straight away. So
we saw that with Ricciardo, didn't we? He's that thing turned really sour very quickly, and then you could see it on the whole. Yeah, I think so as well.
Because Piastri's been doing well, but I think that when they say there's no first or second driver, I think they don't mean that, obviously, because all of a sudden Piastri's winning and the next couple of races not winning, Lando's doing better. You're thinking, what happened? Did he forget how to drive? Did your boy forget how to drive over here? I don't think he did, but machinery must have come into play. But yeah, look, Rick, we'll get this out for everyone to listen to for the e-holes, and just want to apologise for the unregular schedule in this in this case. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Stay safe, stay alert.